right. All righty. You are looking live. It's all Life Stadium. We're today. The 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Philadelphia Eagles. And why are the Philadelphia Eagles 0-16? Because they suck. They started this season 10-1, barely made it to the playoffs, got smoked in the first round of the playoffs because they suck. The Philadelphia Eagles suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Man, it never gets old. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all that's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw it in the chat box. I usually try to check on the chat box. Yeah, maybe like 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. But plus, also, seriously, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever I might wind up being, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free, fire away. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the very top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon, second one's called the Lawrence Taylor, and the third one I got is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me, and I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you're subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. Also, if you can, help me out, give us a thumbs up or maybe share the video, that would be absolutely fantastic. And then finally, a little ways down in the description box, there's 2 additional links. The top one's a Facebook link, which I'll go over in just a second. The other one underneath it, it's a Twitter link. It's, I'm an old-time fart. Get off my lawn! I'm one of them old-time farts. It's Twitter. It's always been Twitter. It's Twitter today. It'll be Twitter tomorrow. 3 trillion years from now, it's Twitter. Whatever letter of the alphabet Elon Musk wants to call it, that's on you, bro. I ain't calling it that. It's Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back. That's an absolute promise. I try to put Giants-related stuff in the Twitter every day. And then also the link just above it takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. We have over 7,900 members in the group. We're just shy of 8,000 members. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, if I have internet access, I'll put stuff in this group darn near 365. And not only do I put stuff in this group, but the members put stuff in this group as well. So between me and the members, there's a ton. There's a boatload. There's an awful lot of New York Giants information going in this group every day. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise. All right, with all that stuff said and done and out of the way with, well, well, some people call it the underwear Olympics, but the combine is underway, and the Giants have been doing some due diligence. Now, a lot of this, with talking with the quarterbacks. Now they did set up. They've had meetings apparently like with all of them, one way or the other. You know what I mean? Maybe let's see here. They had a couple at the Senior Bowl, right? And, they've scheduled meetings, okay, with some of the quarterbacks, okay? So basically they're just doing their due diligence. But also, some of it too, it's, once again, they're just doing their due diligence. It doesn't mean, they're going after Caleb Williams. It doesn't mean that. They're just doing their due diligence. You never know what's going to happen. Especially with in the draft and all that stuff. Crazy things can happen. But sometimes they're doing their due diligence not only to maybe see if somebody is a fit for the team, but maybe somewhere they can cross them cross them off. I mean, they might have some questions about him or whatever, I mean, because let's not forget. I mean, the one thing you got to give is, props to Daniel Jones. All right, the New York market, it's not easy. Not easy at all. I mean, you see a lot of see a lot of Eli and Daniel Jones. Maybe not in maybe not as far as winning Super Bowl titles, but as far as answering questions and putting in the work and all that stuff, and not flying off the handle as some quarterbacks do and all that stuff and everything. So you see, Daniel Jones is very professional, goes about his job, and and everything. And he gets asked a bunch of questions, and I'm sure he doesn't want to answer them, but he goes about doing it. But I mean, it's also, as I said, it can eat you up if you get the wrong person coming in who emotionally and all that can't handle, right, how big New York is. And especially, I mean, if you're the punter or something, like if you're the water boy or something like along those lines, okay, yeah. But I mean, you're the quarterback. You're the commander in chief, right? You're the one that's going to take the brunt of everything, except for maybe the coach or whatever. But I mean, as far as the players, you're it. I mean, if you can't handle the New York market, they could be talking to you just so they can. Yeah, no, he can't go after him. Emotionally, he can't handle it, right? So it goes both ways, but they're just basically doing their due diligence. It doesn't, once again, it doesn't mean, oh man, they're trading up, baby. They're trading up. No, I mean, they're just doing their due diligence. But as you see, I mean, in this little article here, they're talking to quite a few guys, or they're scheduling appointments and, to talk to quite a few guys. So, so let's see here. Who is this? Big Blue View. Chris Flum, I guess it is. 2024 NFL Scouting Combine. Giants have formal meetings with all of the top quarterbacks. Now, I see this a lot. Okay. The Giants are showing significant interest in the quarterback position. Once again, they're just doing their due diligence. We haven't had any on-field workouts yet, but the 2024 NFL Scouting Combine is in full swing. Gotta love it, baby. Gotta love it. Players are arriving every day and going through the behind-the-scenes process that is so important for draft stock. But we never get to see on the what stuff that we never get to see, that we don't get to see, right? Things like medical reports and formal meetings between teams and prospects that can inform decision makers on the things that don't show up in a 40-yard dash. You can't measure this. There ain't no, oh man, the 3-cone, the dude was out of sight. The 3-cone, that doesn't do this. Oh man, benching, baby, boom, he banged out 20. That doesn't measure this. Oh, the vertical, right? The horizontal, it doesn't, that's why, obviously the medicals are very big too. But, talking to them is rather important. And in that vein, Ryan Fowler of the Draft Network has reported that the Giants held a formal meeting with LSU quarterback Jayden Daniels. I love it, baby. I love it. The only thing with him, is, just once again, he's got some good receivers to throw the ball to, right? I mean, the coach Kelly, good coach, right? But his wide receivers, what can he do, right? With very little. What can he do, with the porous offensive line and not a number one? He's got 2 guys probably going to go in the first round. Last time I checked, that's pretty good. 2 wide receivers in the first, right? So, we got he's going to be throwing to a Slayton, a 5th rounder, right? He's going to be throwing to a Robinson, a 2nd rounder, and Hyatt, a 3rd rounder, right? We have no doubt. That's if the Giants go after him. You know what I'm saying? But as I said, a lot of it sometimes is just doing the due diligence. It's just maybe sometimes, and it's huge. He's not going down to Carolina. He's not going to Detroit, Minnesota, whatever. New England. This is New York. as well as eat you up and spit you out whole. Okay, so. But yeah, I mean, you gotta love. I mean, you gotta love Dan. I mean, the freakish athlete. I mean, obviously, a lot of things I've heard too is that he's got to he's got to learn to get down. He likes to take hits or try to dish him out or whatever. And with his slender frame or whatever, that's not going to be a good thing. He's got to learn to get down. Whatever team he's on, get out of bounds, get down. Whatever you got to do, don't get hit. But I mean, there's no denying the freakish athlete that the guy is. I mean, he has a nice deep ball, pretty deep ball. I mean, his running ability is rather scary. Okay. Let's see. Art Stapleton took it a step further, confirming that the Giants have also scheduled meetings with Caleb Williams, Drake May, and J.J. McCarthy. So basically, those are going to be like the top. Pretty much just what I've been hearing. Those are the top 4 quarterbacks. This is after meeting with Michael Penix and Bo Nix at the Senior Bowl. So basically, those are the top 6 guys. So basically, one way or the other, right, between the Senior Bowl and now with the Combine, they're going to pretty much talk to pretty much the top 6 quarterbacks. I'm not sure if they talk to Spencer Rattler, anybody like that, but, you got the top 3, and they may not even be able. They may not even be able to even get those guys. I mean, it might take. It depends. You're not sure what the Patriots are doing at 3. You keep hearing all this stuff that they're taking some offers or whatever, thinking about maybe trading out of maybe acquiring some extra draft picks, and they'll worry about their quarterback situation later. I guess, I don't know. Don't worry about a quarterback. Yeah. We'll get a quarterback next year in the draft next year when the draft class quarterbacks aren't that very good. So, okay. I mean, but I mean, if they're falling in love with just say Caleb Williams, I mean, it might take an act of God to be able. I mean, you might have to, call the Bears up and say, look, we'll give you our next 37 first-round picks. What do you think? You give us Caleb Williams. Is that okay? I mean, so they may not even be able to get the top 3 guys, especially if they don't want to trade up, right? But then once again, then you got Bo Nix, Penix, and McCarthy. I keep hearing like with McCarthy, he's probably not going to make it to the second round. Where's he going to go in the first round? In the teens, somewhere around there, because there's plenty of quarterback needy teams, plenty of them. So will he make it to 20? Maybe not. He may not. So I'm saying, so if the Giants, don't take the top 3 and they take, say, I don't know, Dunze at number 6, say he's there, right? Neighbors or Dunze, one of those 2 guys, because Harrison Jr. probably won't be there. So they take that, right? And then just, I don't know, whatever, I mean, for them to jump back up to like number 20 or something like that, it's going to take their 2 second-round picks and Lord knows what else, right? If they fall in love with McCarthy or not. So, but once again, a lot of it's just they're doing their due diligence. Let's see. The general feeling now is that the Giants would have to trade up if they want one of Williams, May, or Daniels. Yep. I mean, well, it's quite possible. I mean, because just even they might have to trade with the Patriots. If the Patriots, I mean, of course, Shane's talking to everybody. Hey, he's talking. He probably called the Bears. What's it? You firm with that number 1? You're going to keep that number 1, or you're a little flexible, or right? I mean, I'm sure he called. I mean, I'd have a hard time having him believe the Commanders would actually want to deal with the. I mean, I think the Commanders would be rather full because they need a quarterback to trade out of their number 2 pick. I think they'll either fall in love with Daniels or May, right? One of those 2 guys, and take them and be happy with them. But I mean, I'm sure he's calling the Patriots too to see, how serious they might be as far as trading out of that 3rd-round pick, number 3 pick overall, right? It's going to cost by the Giants 3 second-round picks, though. your 2 second-round picks this year and a second-round pick next year. So if they trade up, say they get Daniels, just throwing out there number 3, right? So they'll have Daniels, but they'll have no second-round pick this year, and they'll have no second-round pick next year. Yeah. So as far as trying to build the roster, you lost your first-round pick, you lost your 2 second-round picks, and you got yourself a quarterback that may or may not start this year or whatever. So as far as getting that guard, you might want in the second round, or maybe another edge rusher in the second round, or a cornerback, or whatever. Forget about it. But you might have your quarterback for the future. But as I said, if they do draft a quarterback, this would give Daboll, especially Daboll. I don't know if Daboll and Schoen would both be gone, right? But this would give Daboll at least another year. Even if he's on the hot seat this season, right? If he's got his quarterback, right, it might buy him an extra year, right? And what Mara's also seen, obviously is that, it's a recipe for disaster. Bringing a coach in and every 2 years letting him go, bringing in a whole new regime is not the way to go. Not the way to go. Somewhere along the line, he might have to bite the bullet for a year or two or so and see if it works its way out. Giants GM Joe Schoen mentioned during the combine that he wouldn't feel comfortable executing a trade-up or selecting a quarterback, for that matter, without meeting with them first. Oh, of course. I mean, that's common sense, especially in New York. Oh my God, you ain't trading. You're not going to trade up to the number 3 pick and get and give away your pick 6 and 3 second rounders if you've never met the guy, if you've never talked to the guy. Oh, absolutely not. Oh my goodness. I think at that position, and I said it last year, it's a different stratosphere. He said, you've got to get around these kids and you've got to get to know them. Until you're able to do that, it's hard to make those types of moves. So again, this is the start. There's a lot of these prospects that it's the first time we're going to get around them, and we're looking forward to it. Free agency will set up the table for some of the decisions that we make in the draft. It's an exciting time for us. Oh, yeah, it's an exciting time for all of us. Absolutely. It's like another little Christmas, shall I say. He had speaking on the importance of being comfortable with the player as well as their measurables and tape. I think that's important, because then if you get around them or you find information out that maybe you're not excited about, you just traded a lot of draft capital to go up and to get somebody, and now that you're uneasy about. Yep. So I think that you've got to be comfortable with the film. You've got to be comfortable with who the player is, what the setup is going to be for that player to have success before you do something like that. Meeting with and talking to the players is the next step in the process. After Schoen and the Giants in general were very active on the scouting trail this year. Schoen has personally scouted each of the top quarterbacks. My dog. You all right, Randy? Oh, he's just hocking up a loogie. Oh, boy. Let's see here. Meeting with and talking to the players is the next step in the process. After Schoen and the Giants in general were very active on the scouting trail this year, Schoen was personally scouted each of the top quarterbacks this year. So he personally scouted them, but, that's seeing them, which is important too, right? You want to see how they interact with their players. If the team is losing, how do they act? How do they perform? That's important too. Very important. Let's see here. He traveled to watch USC, LSU, North Carolina, Michigan, Washington, and Oregon. The Giants have shown particular interest in Drake May, with Schoen or the Giants scouts attending 4 different North Carolina games, of which we were aware. So they attended 4 Drake May games. So it's important to note that every team meets with just about every prospect at the combine. However, it's also notable for the Giants that have shown significant interest in this year's quarterback class. At the very least, it's something to keep an eye on as the draft process continues. Yep. I mean, they're certainly within striking range, obviously, of number 3. As I said, I don't know if number 2 would even be available. I don't even know if the Commanders would even pick the phone up or deal at all with the Giants, really. Why would you want to have them trade up with you? I mean, unless you're going to, unless you feel comfortable getting a boatload of picks from the Giants, which is cool, right? But why would you want the Giants to trade up to draft a quarterback that's going to come kick your butt for the next 10 years, 10, 15 years or whatever? Doesn't make much sense. You know what I mean? So, I could see if maybe he was an offensive lineman or something like that, but so I don't even know. As I said, I don't even know if the Commanders would even answer the phone, whoever it is, right? We need a quarterback. We're like Drake May. Hold on, guys. I'm going to check on my dog. Okay. He's okay. He's okay. Sorry about that. He's just over there like coughing and stuff. But so I don't even know if the Redskins would even entertain that at all. Man, the same thing. And of course he's going. All right, buddy. Good. You want to come in? Okay, I'll move the chair for my buddy. Oh, hold on. Watch your head. All right, good morning, Bell. Come on in, good boy. Another thing you don't know about is with the Bears. Are they really, thinking about getting rid of Justin Fields? They don't think they can work with Justin. I mean, obviously you've heard a lot more praise. I've also heard some people say Caleb Williams is not all that. A couple people say that too. But obviously from what you've been hearing, a lot more people say Caleb Williams is a little better than Justin Fields is. So I think the Bears would be, somebody wants to trade up if they still want to roll with Justin Fields. They get themselves a boatload of picks. Let me tell you what, but it is what it is. But as I said, I don't even know if the Giants can even trade up. As I said, I'd be kind of, I said that the Patriots are in a good position. If they want to trade out, they can get some picks and help build the roster, which would be huge for them. But were they going to go into the season with Zappy? So I don't know. Whatever. But the Giants, once again, you also look at it, they're just doing their do due diligence, right? All right, then you got some takeaways here from the Joe Schoen, his presser at the combine. There's a lot here. It says, here's what you need to know. This is from Giants.com. Running back Saquon Barkley and Xavier McKinney are among the Giants on their list of pending free agents. And Shane expressed his desire to have both of them back. The plan all along had been to meet with the representatives this week in Indianapolis. So as far as when he was talking at his presser, that he hadn't talked to any of them yet. So those conversations will take place this week, and we'll see if we can get something done. So franchise tag is not off the table for Barkley. He says, we don't want to do it. In the perfect world, we don't want to do that again. The deadline is March 5th. But a lot of it, it's kind of like with Barkley, a lot of the sticking point is the guaranteed money. Now, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm hearing he might get maybe $20 million for 3 years guaranteed or something like that. If they franchise tag him, that's one season. That's $12 million, and possibly, maybe give some incentive, possibly even more. But that's like $12 million for one season guaranteed. So I don't know what the problem is. If you get injured, you got $12 million guaranteed. You rehab, you come back the next season, you get another contract. They're probably not going to franchise that, but you get another contract with the Giants or somebody else. They give you some guaranteed money. So I'm not exactly sure what the biggest problem is, because his guaranteed money per year is really going to drop this season if he signs a contract. So I don't know. I would go into the season knowing you got guaranteed $12 million for one season. That's not bad. And if you don't want it, I'll take it. But let's see here. Shane said McKinney's agent will get there on Friday. We have a meeting planned with him. I've had really good talks with Xavier over the last couple of weeks, but talks have not begun with that. I know that there is something out there that maybe they've begun conversations with contract extensions, but we haven't had any talks other than what's going to be going on at the combine. Now, the thing is, he said we'd love to have Xavier back. Oh, yeah. I mean, the dude's only 24 years old. I think he'd really excel really well in the Bowen defense. Absolutely. The thing is, it sounds like Xavier's, it's like, show me the money, right? And I haven't heard say anything at all about it. Yeah, I'd love to be back with the Giants. I haven't heard anything like that. So then he says, quarterback Daniel Jones, who suffered a torn ACL, has been throwing for about 2 weeks from a stationary position. He's not dropping back or doing anything like that, but he's on track. He's doing everything he can to get back. We're optimistic about where he is. There's some talk in the spring that he may be able to go through, whether it's 7-on-7 or individual, throwing routes on air, that he'll be able to do some of that stuff. We'll probably won't expose him to team activities. He says everybody's different, right? But he's doing everything possible he can to get back and be in shape as fast as he possibly can. Shane says has faith in Jones as their starting quarterback. Jones understands that the Giants need to add a quarterback to the roster. It can be through free agency, and it doesn't preclude us from doing it in the draft as well. The roster could look a lot different in 3 weeks from now based on what they do in free agency. Absolutely. And, of course, what they do in free agency, like say in free agency, say they add an edge rusher. Well, then, obviously, that's not going to be a high priority, obviously, in the draft. Adding somebody to put next to Sexy Dexy that can maybe push the pocket, and maybe get some pressure. That could be huge, especially in the Bowen defense as well, too. Shane thinks the world of Barkley and thinks he can still play. My value for Saquon really hasn't changed, unfortunately, throughout the process. Starting back in November of 2022, we weren't able to come to an agreement in terms of where we both thought a deal made sense. So the increase of the $30+ million to the salary cap over the previous season was a pleasant surprise. They will recalibrate and see if it alters their plans. Barkley presence in the locker room is baked into his contract negotiations. He said it's a good quarterback draft, not just at the top. Shane said that there are mid-level players who will be good number twos. Yep. There are some guys that can be number threes in the draft. So, yeah, I think it's a solid draft overall. The Giants added assistant head coach duties to the title of offensive coordinator Mike Kafka this offseason, one of which included another round of interviews for head coach. Shane said he is in demand and is an asset around the building as they are going to continue to develop him as a head coach. So that's good. It's what he's going to go through this year, Kafka will obviously help him, maybe next season when he starts maybe goes for another round of interviews. Shane addressed listening in on the coach's headset for 4 games during the season, so it's something I've wanted to do for quite some time. It's kind of you don't know if he's really lying there or not. He said that's something I really wanted to do, so I just threw the headsets on. So that's a bit odd, but who knows? So I went and did it, and it was amazing. Just the communication of the coaches from an evaluation standpoint. When I talked to President and Chief CEO John Mara after the game or my personal staff, I can say, yeah, player X screwed that up. Or, yeah, we called this, but this didn't happen. Or the safety was over and he was supposed to be that way, or whatever it may be. You just have an intimate knowledge of what went on and why during the game. He says, I'm superstitious, so we won. We beat Washington, then we won the next week, and then we won the next week. Then we lost against New Orleans, and then I was out of there, he said. So he had it on for 4 weeks, apparently. They won 3, right? So they were on a roll. Then they went to New Orleans, and they got the rear ends handed to us, right? So then he's like, oof. So he's superstitious, so he stopped listening in. He says, being superstitious, that's why I was in there multiple games. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It also like sitting with my staff, but I'm not the only GMs that's ever done that. And again, from an evaluation standpoint, it was really beneficial. So that was the reason behind that. Now, whether he's telling the truth or not, who knows? But then Also, Shane was also talking about being an Indiana native. Shane started his press conference by reflecting on his journey and thanking his staff. It's always fun for me to come back where I'm from and just to think that 23 years ago, I drove over here and I had dinner with Bill's general manager, Brandon Beam, which eventually led to me getting into the NFL. So exciting time to be here as we go on to 2024. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank my staff. There's a lot that goes into preparing for the combine, whether it's logistics, getting us to the airport, the hotels, and all that stuff. So the staff did a fabulous job. I also like to mention President and Director Jeff Foster with NIC, the National Invitational Camp, and the job he's done putting this event together. He does a phenomenal job. If you guys understood half of the stuff he has to go through to get all these players here, oh my God. The medicals, the hotels, the flights. Oh my God! Could you freaking imagine being in charge of that? I mean, obviously, he's. I'm sure he has an army of people, right, that helps him out. But could you imagine getting all these guys that, they said, their medicals, the airlines, the tickets, the flights, get guys picked up, hotels, and all this stuff. Getting these guys organized. Okay, you got to get up at whatever 8 o'clock or whatever, or 8:30. You got to be so and so. Then you got to come here, and then you got. I mean, wow. I mean, and it's huge. I mean, you can't be screwing stuff like this up. This is huge. So that's obviously a very, very important position that he does. Very important job. All right, then we got 4. Now, I'm going to throw a few more in here. A couple more. We got from G-Man HQ, 4 first-round mistakes that continue to haunt the Giants. Now I'm going to throw a few more guys in here. Yeah. Tight end Evan Ingram. The Giants selected Evan Ingram with the 23rd pick in the 2017 NFL draft out of Ole Miss. While the tight end has flashed of a success in New York, his drop passes and inconsistent play made him a target of frustration by the Big Blue fan base. 2020 in a game against the Eagles, Ingram dropped a pass from Daniel Jones on 3rd and 6 at the Eagle 25-yard line, which would have sealed the deal. The Giants would have won the game. And the Giants opting to have to punt after he dropped the pass and eventually losing 22-21. Yep. If he held on to the ball, the Giants probably could have ran the clock out or kicked the field goal, whatever it was, and the Giants probably would have won the game. But he dropped. Ingram struggled to become what the Giants had hoped he would be, but that's not the case in Jacksonville. In Jacksonville, he looks like the greatest tight end of all time, right? As he's evolved into a valuable piece of the Jaguars. But I mean, Peterson does a phenomenal job with tight ends. I mean, if he could put one quarterback and 37 tight ends on the field, I think he would do that. He's very, very good with his tight ends, right? This is another example of players who struggle to unlock their full potential with the Giants due to pressure of playing in New York with the fans and media who expect immediate success to win. Evan Ingram said, I needed Jacksonville. A year before he left the Giants, Evan Ingram had his confidence shattered and hit rock bottom mentally. He turned to Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan for inspiration, studying how they worked, matured, and overcame adversity to become basketball. It takes me to become basketball legends. Yeah, so I mean, it's tough. I mean, once again, I mean, this is the thing, that with the quarterbacks, right? Going back with the quarterbacks, you figure, this is why you want to talk to the quarterbacks. See where their heads are at. See that, I mean, can they thrive and survive in Gotham City? It's not easy. Not easy at all. Next, what do we got there? Eric Flowers. Oh my God. Yeah. The Giants have always emphasized improving their offensive line, especially in the early rounds of the NFL draft. The team has used 3 of their last 12 first-round picks on offensive linemen. However, one of those picks has proven to succeed, another has failed miserably, and we are still waiting for the other one to develop. But he hasn't lived up to his expectation at this point. Well, I mean, you also go back, 3 of their last 12 first-round picks. Well, I mean, you go back to Justin Pugh in 2013, right? So you got Justin Pugh, right? You got Evan Neal, Eric Flowers, and Andrew Thomas, right? So I don't know. I'm not sure. Last 12 picks, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. I don't know. Teams used 3 of their last 12 first-round picks. I mean, I guess maybe they're talking about maybe because they had like 3 pick. They picked DeAndre Baker and Dexter Lawrence and all that. Maybe that. But I mean, if you go from 2023 to 2013, they picked 4 guys in the first round. Says if you haven't already guessed, the lineman to fail miserably with the Giants was Eric Flowers, who's taken number 9 overall. But once again, they said Flowers gave up 169 total pressures with the Giants, which was the most of any tackle in the NFL at that time. But I mean, if you also look here, right? Let's see here. Look what. Yeah, where are we at? Yeah. All right, now Eric Flowers. Now, if you look, right, his last season in Washington, he graded out at a 72. And I don't know what happened though. I really don't know. I didn't follow him. I really don't care. But in 2021 with the Reds, they were part of the Washington football team then. He had 1,061 offensive snaps. He graded out as 72. His run blocking was a 64. His pass blocking was a 78. And he never played ever again after that. I have no idea what happened. No idea. But as I said, it's interesting because when he was with the Giants, he graded out at 54. Then he graded at 69, a 66, a 65. But I'm saying, but usually when he goes to another team, right? Well, let's not also be fair. He played a left guard with the Redskins. Okay. Now, if you look at it here, like with the Giants, his first year with the Giants, he played left tackle. He played 960 snaps altogether. He gave up 69 pressures. His last 3 seasons combined, he gave up 70 pressures. Last 3 combined, 70. First season with the Giants, 69. Yeah, it's like the Giant. I mean, to be fair, I mean, he was with Washington and he went to Miami, then he went back to Washington again. All right, but he gave up 70 pressures in his last 3 seasons. Now, as I said, the thing was with the Giants, they had him at tackle. That in 2021, Flowers was a left guard. 2020 with Miami, he was a left guard. 2019, he was a left guard, and that's when he was getting. I mean, he gave up 24 pressures in 2019. He gave up 20 in 2020. He gave up 26 in 2021. With the Giants, for some reason, no, he's going to be our left tackle. Why don't you move inside? No. It's like talking to a 2-year-old child. No. He's our left tackle. No. We're not moving him. No. You're that freaking stupid? Why don't you try to move him inside where he's in a phone booth and he can manhandle guys, right? Instead of like Evan Neal, putting him out on an island and having the guys just walk around him. Beat him like a drum, right? It says his first 2 seasons with the Giants, he gave up 133 pressures in 2 seasons. 133 pressures. Holy, are you kidding? So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's very, very frustrating. How, they don't try him at different positions or I don't know. It's unbelievable. But, I mean, because you look at it too, is that you figure, the Giants may not, I mean, you figure Eric Flowers, this would be his 10th season, right? So Eric Flowers was that good, right? So, right, so 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. This would be his 10th season. We've had guards, we've had linemen who played 10 seasons or more, right? Especially maybe moved them into guard. He might still be on the team if they moved him into guard, right? So and that's the problem is that when you wind up swinging and missing on these first round picks, it sets you back. Why? Well, because now we may not have had to draft Evan Neal. if Eric Flowers worked out. We'd have Andrew Thomas, and maybe we have Flowers might be a guard. I mean, whatever. I don't know. But we may not have to draft some of these other guys. And of course, Kadarius Toney. Now, I kind of understand where, Gettleman was, we traded with the Bears, we moved back, we got some extra draft capital. I can see all that stuff and everything, but I mean, to draft a guy who only lasted 1.5 seasons with Big Blue before being dealt to the Kansas City Chiefs in exchange for a 2023 third-round compensatory pick and a 2023 sixth-round pick. G-Man later sent that third-round pick to the Raiders for Waller. Since being traded to the Chiefs, Tony has trolled the Giants fans on social media. Well, he blows. I mean, he just straight up blows. He's a 2-year-old child. Yeah, he's a two-time Super Bowl champion, but he's a child. It's like, I feel sorry for the guy. But yeah, I mean, that's something the Giants are going to have to want to. Yeah. Once again, another blown pick. Another blown pick. I mean, you just obviously, of course, you want to think, and of course, is that right? What the Giants, they maybe could have took Micah Parsons, right? Right. All right, then we got Evan Neal. He's another guy. The most recent first-round disappointment for the New York Giants is offensive lineman Evan Neal, who had 5 penalties, allowed 2 sacks, and earned a 39.8 overall grade from Pro Football Focus in 7 games this past season. His frustrating performance throughout the season resulted in fans targeting Neal and booing him on the field, especially in Week 4 in the Giants lost to Seattle, where Jones was sacked 11 times. I mean, let's hope that, let's hope the guy can stay healthy, and let's hope we can find something where the guy can play. Whether Open Karma Basili comes in and he's like, nah, man, we got to move this guy to guard. Yeah. Or if not, maybe he can help work with him to work on his form to make him a better right tackle. But, I mean, so far, the injuries and his performance has just not been very good. Not been very good at all. And, just the fact that, once again, just the fact that we're considering, like, drafting Alt or one of these other guys is just crazy. We shouldn't. Why would we want to tackle for? Right? I mean, do you realize that if you add up Andrew Thomas and you add up Evan Neal, where they got drafted at, it comes up to 11, right? We took a tackle at 4 and we took a tackle at 7. I don't know if you can go throughout the whole NFL and add up 2 tackles. And I'm come up to an 11 or lower. I'm not. I don't know. I highly doubt it. 4 and 7, and we're still a couple of years later. We're still we might need a tackle again. It's like, are you kidding me? I mean, once again, you take a wide receiver in the first round, and I'm going to go over a couple other guys here. You take a wide. Why are we looking for a dog? What? We just drafted a wide receiver in the first round. He's our dog. No, he blows. He sucks. He's a 2-year-old child. You just drafted a 2-year-old child, right? Who sucks his thumb and wets his pants. He's a 2-year-old child. Why are we drafting a wide receiver? Why are we spending? Why are we getting a Dunze? What do we need? No, we just drafted a wide receiver. Nope. Because you blew it. That's why. Why are we all worried that we just let Adoree Jackson go? Well, that's because we need another cornerback. Well, why do we need another cornerback? We got Deontay Banks. We got DeAndre Baker, right? Those are our cornerbacks going. No. My bad. DeAndre Baker blows, right? Right. Why are we drafting Deontay Banks? Right? We got DeAndre Baker and we got Eli Apple. Right? Nope. They blow. Eli Apple. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. This would be his 9th season. Now, obviously, he wouldn't be, if he was any decent, right? He wouldn't be a lockdown corner, nothing like that in his 9th season or like that. But could he still play? Could he still be some, maybe at least some depth or something? 9th season? I think so. I'm saying DeAndre Baker, he's not that old. Would he still, if he was any good, right? Could he still be a number 1 cornerback or a starting cornerback? Oh, yeah. I mean, he's not that old, right? But no, we blew it. Right? So we're still looking for cornerbacks. Matter of fact, we drafted we drafted Eli Apple and DeAndre Baker, and because they suck so bad, we had to go out and get Bradberry and Adoree Jackson. What are we getting Bradberry and Adoree Jackson for? What do we need those guys for, right? We just drafted 2 cornerbacks in the first round. Oh, that's right. Forgot. They blow. Justin Pugh, right? We have him, and then we let him go. Not that he wasn't the greatest person. He wasn't but it was decent. But I mean, what are we looking for a guard for, right? We just drafted Will Hernandez. Right? Well, not just drafted, but what are we drafting a guard for? We got Will Hernandez. No, we didn't want to sign him. What do we need a guard for? We had Kevin Zeitler, who had a pretty good season last year. I know he's 115 years old. I get it. But what do we still need a guard for? We just have Kevin. Nope. Had to let him go. It's yes. I mean, there's a lot, especially we're talking first round picks. There's a lot of, unfortunately, with 2012, with David Wilson, of course, unfortunately, he got injured, but between a lot of some of the first and second round picks, it just sets you back, because it's especially if you're looking for a real good cornerback, you take them early, first round, second round, stuff like that. But when you keep taking them and they keep sucking, it's like, we got to get another one. We got to get another one. I'm saying it's not like it's basketball where you just need like 5 positions. You need a center, 2 forwards, and 2 guards. I mean, you get cornerback, you need edge, you need interior defensive linebacker, safety. So you miss. That sets you back years. I mean, so the Giants have, they've swung and missed quite a bit with their picks. Let's hopefully they can get something figured out with Evan Neal. Because it's so sick and tired of every year just hearing the same thing. Giants need a left tackle. They need a left tackle. Finally, we got Andrew Thomas. They need another tackle. They need another. Now we got Evan Neal. So, well, maybe we won't have to hear that anymore. No, we're still hearing that. Right? We need a number 1 wide receiver. Number 1 wide. Right? So it's. After a while, it really gets old hearing the same thing. So hopefully, maybe I'd love to see a draft like a Dunzier or one of the top receivers. So that would give us Hyatt, Robinson, Slayton, and maybe a Dunzier, whatever. I'm not saying it'd be the greatest wide receiver group in the league, but that would really elevate our offense big time. And then finally, there was like a little survey that was going on. Right. And apparently Brian Daboll did really graded it out very, very well. Very, very well. So I got to give him a lot of credit. Says the Indianapolis, Brian Daboll, the Giants players dig him. All right, cool. How much? Well, according to the latest NFL Players Association survey released Wednesday, 100% of the Giants players feel Daboll is efficient with their time. 100%. That's hard to do. This is the highest mark in the league in that category. Brian Daboll, numero uno. Very good. As far as players feeling that Daboll is very willing to listen to the locker room, Daboll ranked 13th in the league. His overall grade of A- put him 13th among his peers. Now then, Wink Martindale, the former Giants defense coordinator, was not part of this survey, and no doubt he would not have been so positive in his evaluation of his former boss. Martindale lasted only 2 years working with Daboll and is now at the University of Michigan. His issues with Daboll treated his coaching staff were not shared by how the players feel the head coach treats them. For this annual survey released before free agents must make decisions on where to play for the upcoming season. So this is huge because, they see the survey, right? And if the Giants come calling, then they look and then, obviously here, we go here. The training room is a B. The locker room is a B. Nutrition and dietitian was a C+. Food and cafeterias would be the treatment of the families is a C. Not very good. Ownership's a B+. Head coach is an A-. Travel team is a B+. Strength coach is a B+. The weight room's a B. But they also talked a lot too about the field. They're still not digging the field. Not digging the field. For this annual survey released before the free agents make their decisions on where to play for the upcoming season, the Players Union polled 1,706 players seeking information about the teams they play for in 11 different categories. The Giants fared quite well, finishing with the 8th highest rank among the 32 teams. Pretty good. Not bad. Daboll and general manager Joe Schoen arrived in 2023, and the Giants finished number 8 in their first year in the survey. They maintained that high grade in year number 2. Not bad. The top quarter, not bad. Could be a lot worse. So you got to give them some props for that. The Giants survey was especially kind again to Ronnie Barnes, the senior vice president of medical services and the longtime head trainer. Yeah, I don't know how much longer this guy's going to be around. He's been around for almost like 50 years. I'm not sure how much longer he's going to be around. I'll tell you what, when we lose him, we're going to lose somebody really special. Let me tell you what. He's not in the Giants Ring of Honor or whatever it is for nothing. The lowest grade was a C for treatment of families. The Giants do provide daycare on game days, but are one of 12 teams that do not provide a family room on game days. Now, that's where they wind up getting their low mark. Now, it's something that I'm not sure if they can really change that easily or not, but the Giants players were almost unanimous in their dislike for the playing surface of MetLife Stadium. Almost unanimous. They did not like, and this is the new surface. They dislike it, which is typical of the feeling around the league. As 92% of the players dislike playing on a synthetic surface. Plain and freaking simple. 92% dislike playing on it. Put in some freaking grass. Whatever you got to do. We can send something to, I don't know, we go to Mars, or we can put something on Jupiter and stuff like that. I think we can find a way to get some grass somehow. I really think we can. The Giants players are especially pleased with the team travel. The Giants do not require players to have roommates on the road, and 94% of the players are satisfied with their personal space on flights. So I said, the one thing is with the treatment of the families is a C. Okay. I'm saying, because a lot of their bad that came from the family, they don't have like a family room or whatever, during game day, right, at the stadium. So that's where their marks really came down. The other one that they did bad in was their nutritionist and dietitian got a C+, which is 27th in the league. So that's not super spectacular. But everything else got like pretty much like their ownership, head coach, team travel, strength coaches, weight room, training staff, training room, the locker room, and the food and cafeteria all got at least an A or a B. So, but, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. But they did not, they're not happy about the synthetic surface. But that one apparently wasn't one of the categories that they went by. But that's another thing that some of these guys might think about. It's something. The money's one thing, but also your knees, this, that, and the other thing. Well, let's see. The Packers called. They want to give me $10 million a year, and they're on grass. Mm-hmm. The Giants called. They want to give me $10 million a year, but they're on synthetic surface. Very interesting, right? Right? All this stuff matters, right? We got to play. Somebody plays on grass, right? Because you figure the Packers, they play, The Bears, right? Soldier Field, that's grass. The Packers play on grass. They play a couple other games on grass. So you figure the Packers maybe out of their 17 games, they might play 11, 12 of their games on grass. That's huge for guys. Some guys that might be the deciding factor, right? So, but just the Giants being number 8 overall is pretty impressive, especially 2 seasons in a row. Brian Daboll and Schoen just come in and they're number 8 2 seasons in a row. And you also like to hear that too, about the players talking about Daboll, right? That 100% say that he's good. They're good with he's good with their time. So that's good, right? He was number 1 in the NFL for that. So that's good. But once again, it sounds like the Giants are doing pretty good overall. But the Combine week continues. We'll be back again tomorrow, and I'm sure we'll have stuff to talk about because the Underwear Olympics is in full swing. All right, guys, it's been 55, almost 56 minutes. Whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching the replay, this once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. And as always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.